Hi! Oh my goodness. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Thursday deep dive. Let me get that banner off of there for you. That's got to be annoying, am I right? Okay, so I appreciate y'all making time today. As always, I hope wherever you are, it's a lovely day. Let me get the comments here so I can see what you folks are saying. Okay, all right. Woo! I want to, as always, say thank you to Wes. See, this is how we do it here. It's only the best. At that guy at PGU on X, you need to follow him. He makes our awesome thumbnails. Been having a lot of fun lately with the AI, and he makes sure that the videos show up 8 p.m. Eastern tonight on YouTube and Rumble over at the Mike Show. And then, of course, tomorrow we do the Friday live stream. He takes care of those as well. He gets your audio podcasts up at Spotify and iTunes and iHeart, wherever you. I mean, it's a dozen different players. You can find one you like, and be sure to rate, review, share. Please spread the word of what we do here on Thursdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Here on Twitter is, X. It's the only place we do it live at 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday and Fridays. Thursday, we do the deep dive where we explore one specific topic. On Friday, we try to have some fun and just, as the world is burning around us, play some animal. In fact, I got to find some animal videos for tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. I know you're going to want to tune in for that. And, of course, over Instagram, that's Gabby's domain, at Jeffy Apologist on X. So follow her as well. She's always putting fun stuff over there since – when I go to Instagram, I feel old. I feel old. Brad, speaking of, how do you?
I'm sorry. Who was it that fell asleep before the show started?
I'm so tired. I stayed up so late watching
Who's
my Oilers.
old?
That's me. I feel old. I stayed up way too late last night watching the Oilers and watching the Braves simultaneously. I saw the Braves lose and the Oilers win. And right now, Braves fans, no spoiler alerts if you're going to watch the game when you get home tonight.
I love rugby. I think it's great that you're watching those games.
I'll just say that they're in the ninth inning and it's still a game.
They have innings in rugby?
It should not be.
That's weird.
Yes. Brad Staggs, ladies and gentlemen, follow him at Real Brad Staggs. I think I made didn't I make a Post-it note? I have a Post-it note laying around here somewhere with your handle on it.
Nothing but the best.
Let me see here.
Nothing but the best from you and for you.
There it is. See that? Oh, it's on the screen too. So there it is. At Real Brad Staggs. Now, what you do is a thing called the dailymojo.com.
I do.
It's
I do it.
Weekday mornings.
Do it.
What time do you do that?
Well, what time zone? Tahiti?
Okay, I don't know.
Mountain? Excuse me. Mountain.
Mountain time.
Mountain, and we do it with some cotton in our mouth. It's
you ever talk about Bill Clinton?
I love Bill Clinton.
Hey, Bill Clinton, I've got a Bill Clinton clip on tomorrow's Friday live stream. It will stun you. You know how people say, if you're not going to say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. It's the one thing I can say nice about Bill Clinton. I'll do that tomorrow on the Friday live stream. Okay, so
is it about a cigar?
No.
Why?
What time did we say your show comes on weekdays?
7.
You don't even know.
7, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 7
Central Time. Yeah.
What other time is there? What other time zone is there?
Real quick, before we get into today's topic, I just want to let everyone know that a week from today, on the Thursday Deep Dive, we're going to talk about what I think is the most consequential labor dispute in American history, and nobody knows about it. It's truly shocking. I stumbled onto this place. It's a ghost town now, where this massacre occurred 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 100, I don't even know. But that'll be next week's deep dive topic. And so
long time ago.
Okay, so not that long ago, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 vanished. And
so freaky.
It is, yes. And it's been the topic of discussion on this program multiple times. And it's usually with our guest who is coming up. Let me back up. Ashton Forbes
doesn't really exist.
Doesn't really exist. Like, he's vanished. Like, no. He will be here shortly. when we do these live streams,
or will he?
Okay, when we do these live streams, it's there's still real life happening where we have jobs that pay the bills, and he got a last minute meeting that he was dragged into.
Wait, what is it? What is it? A what? A job?
It's a job. It's a job.
Is that is that the thing you do where you get paid to do it?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sore spot there, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he will be joining us here shortly, Ashton Forbes. But I have some stuff that I wanted to play before we even started talking to him anyway, so it actually worked out because he has been, for 3 years now, he has been...
He's a CIA operative.
He's a CIA operative?
He's a spook. He's a spook. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
That's funny. I think I saw a tweet of his the other day where he gave kind of a shout out to the CIA about how they...
Which is exactly what a spook would do.
Well, maybe shout out isn't the right phrase. Almost like acknowledging that Ashton Forbes is...
That's what he'd do if he was a spook.
Let me finish my point. He is so...
Go ahead, finish it.
I'm trying to.
I'm waiting.
Keep interrupting me.
It's okay.
So the thing is, he makes a good point. He's not been sued for all of these claims that he's been making about Malaysian Airlines 370 and all of the interesting research that he has done and the rabbit holes that he has been going down. If he had defamed anyone along the way, don't you think they would have sued him by now?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because
there's nothing, but he hasn't really said anything to defame anybody. As a matter of fact, he's defended the pilot.
Right. Well, that's fair. Yes. But he has been like a dog with a bone, man, for 3 years. And he just keeps uncovering stuff. And it's just been fascinating to follow and watch this. And he will be joining us here shortly. But one of the things that he released, because in fact, I should tell him this. I don't know that I have. He was the inspiration for me doing these Thursday deep dives. Because I had this idle YouTube channel just sitting out there that I wasn't really doing much with. And then I ran across something of his back in, it was November of 2023 now. I saw a thing that he had done. I was like, I got to talk to this guy about Malaysian Airlines 370. And it was like the night before Thanksgiving, I think it was, in 2023. And it's still the most watched. I don't know what that says about my YouTube channel, but it's still the most watched video on there. And I reached out to him. We had a fascinating discussion. We did a follow-up where you were a part of that one, Brad.
Yep.
And it's just been fascinating to see this unfold.
And we had him on the Daily Mojo too.
You've had him over there. And it inspired me to do kind of these weekly deep dive things. And in fact, he was on my day job. That's the thing where you get paid. And
weird.
It's weird, right? Sorry. Okay. So he was on just a couple of weeks ago, Pat Gray Unleashed over on the Blaze. And toward the end of that conversation, he mentioned a couple of people's names that were keeping this technology that from us as a society, and that the world would really enjoy having access to some of these cutting edge technologies as far as free energy and so on. And, the fact that somebody's making airplanes disappear. But I reached out to him after that show, and I was like, hey, I got to have you on my Thursday deal. And we've got to talk about who the gatekeepers of this technology, who's blocking this from us. And he will definitely expound on that, and give us some names, give us some company names, give us the names of individuals. And again, if you're just tuning in, Ashton got dragged into a meeting at his job, but he will be here shortly. So he
was kidnapped.
Or maybe he was in a plane over the Indian Ocean.
Maybe he's in that plane right behind me.
What's going on with that? Is that plane parked on clouds? What's going on back there?
It was very expensive. We had that in the garage here at the motel. We rented. Now I'll say this: it is not a full size airplane. It's 3/4 size. And so then we rented the orbs, and we rented the clouds. The clouds you get by the bucket, which is weird. You wouldn't think you'd rent clouds by the bucket, but you do. You go ahead and you scoop and you throw them out there, and then we took a picture of it, and so I think it looks pretty good.
So you rent.
Yeah,
where do you rent the clouds? Where do you rent clouds?
Franchise cloud rental store. Yeah.
Okay, nice orbs, by the way.
Thank you.
That's a lot more than
I've been told that a few times. Oh, those.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
those are. Yeah, thank you.
Hang on a second.
They're
Here.
roundish.
Yeah, I see that.
Solid.
It's a good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to talk to Ashton about is this video. I didn't realize that something similar happened in 2013. I don't know if he's addressed
How
this.
in the hell are we just now hearing about that?
Again,
is weird.
I'm eagerly awaiting our guest to be able to ask him about this. But this was posted not that long ago,
and it's the video on top
is Spain apparently in 2013.
13, and the bottom two are the
MH370.
MH370 in 2014.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
And is it possible that we've been seeing the 2013 one and thinking it is? I mean, how is it possible that there's this?
I got questions, and Ashton's a guy to.
Because it looks like the same plane, does it not?
Well, no, I think the contrails are different, and plus the orbs were behind that other one.
Is he seeding the cloud? Is that what he's doing? Is that the Spain? Is that a Spain cloud seeder? Huh?
Is that how they get rain?
I think so. The rain in Spain.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I definitely needed to play this before Ashton joined us. So this actually worked out. I got to play this video because shortly after the conversation that we had over on Pack Ray Unleashed, he released this video. He found this video, and there's this company, and let's see, Sierra Nevada Corporation.
I'm sorry, what?
Is a Sierra Nevada? No, don't you dare.
You mean Sierra Nevada?
I can't stand you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't stand you.
I'm sorry. Which one of us was born there?
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Okay, but no. You
Sierra Nevada Corporation.
Okay.
I just don't. When I can avoid sounding like a Yankee, I take the opportunity. So the Sierra Nevada Corporation. This video speaks for itself. I think it's fascinating.
Hasn't yet.
Anyway, so here is. Oh yeah, there he was. There he is. This is an Ashton tweet not that long ago. I really love what the CIA has been able to do with Gorgon stare. Again, if you follow Ashton, you know that he's been talking about this for several weeks now. So now he's an enemy of the state, as you can see there. He's a big fan of the CIA. Keep up the good work. See, maybe you're right. Okay, but you got to see this video. So here we go. It's a 3-minute video explaining the Gorgon stare, the latest puzzle piece happening here around MH370. Check this out.
When the ancient Greek Gorgon Medusa stared down upon her enemies, they were frozen in place, their voices mute, their bodies turned to stone.
No.
In this petrified state, she studied them with a sharper eye. The smallest details revealed, the story of their lives held still before her. Sierra Nevada Corporation's Intelligence.
What was that? Nevada?
And Reconnaissance Division.
I can't help it. They're tards too.
In response to an urgent Department of Defense need for a real-time surveillance system. Wide Area Airborne Persistent Surveillance, or WAPS, is the ability to continually observe a large
Whoa.
capable of watching a city-sized.
Okay, hold on. See,
really?
This video came out. I think, if I remember correctly, it was out before the Saw.
Bring the mop. Bring the bucket. Okay.
The things Brad Staggs gets. Okay. He said WAPs, just like Nevada, not Nevada. WAPs, not WAP. Okay, you got it. All right.
To continually observe a large area from an airborne platform. Capable of watching a city-sized area 24 hours a day for an unlimited amount of time, the system's electro-optical and infrared sensors capture all activity without interruption in the field of view both day and night. An Air Force MQ-9 Reaper remotely piloted aircraft equipped with the Gorgon stare system observes a potential threat, revealing its story, its secrets, its intent. This extended overwatch streams live, real-time footage of the area within the flight's circle of persistence to multiple users and stores the footage in a real-time accessible archive. Live view capability in the circle of persistence provides situational awareness
now, hang
to
on
both
a second.
command authorities and
Hang on a
unlimited
second.
on-the-ground
Hang on.
units and users.
Hang on. So I grabbed the. Let me back up. I grabbed this. This video has been spliced in with MH370 stuff, and I didn't realize that until right now. The original.
I was
video,
about to say.
hold
really
on. The original video didn't show this. He put this in the comments later after he posted the original video. I just want to be clear here, and
I was thinking, man, they're
I know.
The ability to search and rewind through the data. The imagery can be studied in near real time for forensic analysis in the wake of an incident. Gorgon Stare is a battle-proven ISR system.
I didn't catch this. Sorry.
10,000 flight hours in combat operations. It has detected and neutralized numerous threats as the reconnaissance asset of choice for maneuver commanders. What once took days of intelligence preparation of the battle space has now been reduced to a single mission. In addition to displaying the full field of view, 10 distinct zoom areas within Gorgon Stare's unblinking view can be simultaneously collected and distributed to any appropriately equipped users, including intelligence centers, on-the-ground tactical troops, and first responders.
Okay, so there you go. And then there's a little bit
more. So, to be clear, Gorgon Stare is the surveillance system that is being used by the military-industrial complex to constantly surveil every square inch of everything on Earth, or just select areas. Or
Ashton, take the floor, please. No.
Okay.
Sorry. Any minute now, Ashton will be joining us here. Yes. To your question, yes, Brad. One of the two.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how. I don't know if it has to be specifically, but they just said you capture the data, then you can go back and look at it. So I think it's capturing everything. Intacto
says on and Intacto, by the way, no, Ashton has not spoken yet. So on MH370, he said there were 20 employees of U.S. technology company Freescale Semiconductor. Is that true? I don't know. It makes powerful microchips for different sectors, including the defense industry.
Okay.
And Jeffy, apologist, wants to know, does this help or hurt the simulation theory?
Oh, we were just talking about the simulation theory before we went on the air here.
Because we are in simulation. Prove we're not.
I don't say no to anything anymore.
There's nothing you can definitively say that's real or that isn't anymore. Not since these AI video models have come out, and you cannot.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't.
You cannot. There's no distinguishing what is legit and what isn't anymore. It's done. So it's scary, but it's done. I haven't shown you my rabbit.
I'm sorry?
You haven't seen my rabbit yet.
This is a family show, bro. What are we doing?
Well, no, I used Veo, whatever the hell it's called.
So hold on a second. In this virtual reality, do the Atlanta Falcons ever win the Super Bowl?
Yes, every year.
I'm sorry? I want to be
every year. So that's the beauty of it. But the things you can do that aren't always great, but let's see if I can boink. There you go.
Hang on a second. Okay.
A skin Flintster.
Okay.
So I'll start that again so you can see.
Please. Yeah.
So
okay,
this is
Alhambra banana skin Flintster.
That's a good boy.
So what's that?
That's a prompt. I was playing around with Veo or Veo, whatever the hell it's called. And the prompt was, magician makes a rabbit appear, and the rabbit is supposed to be a small rabbit and is supposed to be on the table and tell the magician, oh, that's a good boy.
Oh,
Alhambra
the point
banana
is,
skin Flintster.
You cannot tell.
Right.
That's a good boy.
Oh, that could be the White House rabbit at Easter. right there. You cannot tell the difference.
Who was in
anymore.
that? Who was in
None
that
of those
rabbit
right.
costume when
During
Biden
John
was president?
Pierre.
Yeah, it's got to be KJP. Yeah,
Waiting
she's
for
got
her new book.
New book coming
Oh
out.
yeah,
Right?
that's gonna
She's
be,
independent now. You know that, right?
yeah. She's trying to think outside the box. She says.
Okay, so you had you mentioned something earlier that made me think of this clip that I have here. This clip goes back to 2001 at the National Press Club, and speaking about hidden technologies, the topic of today's show. Is a man named Don Phillips, former Lockheed CIA contractor, all sorts of good stuff. And this video, again, I say, this video is from 2001, and I want you to listen to what he said. Have you heard this, sir?
I have no idea.
Awesome. Good. Here we go. Watch this. I like surprises for you.
They were traveling so fast that you could almost see a pattern left by, if you are computer people, when you move a mouse real quick across the screen, you see a little bit of a tail. Well, that's exactly the way these 6 or 7 craft work. They all seem to group up to the west, northwest. Okay? They started to come in on a circle. Just directly east of that is what is known as Area 51. We knew it as the Groom Lake Flight Test Facility. And it was where we tested our aircraft after we got the prototype made from the Skunk Works. Let's get back to the circle in the sky. What they did was coalesce and started rotating in a circle, and then they disappeared. Well, I thought, gee, this is something that we have to keep quiet. And that was verified by the chief of security. Now, we don't know who was guiding those, but they were certainly intelligent. And we don't know where they landed because they coalesced and disappeared. That I will testify under oath as to what I say is true, and I will do so before Congress. Thank you.
Where'd this come from?
That was a speech, a man named Don Phillips at the National Press Club event in 2001, speaking about hidden technologies. So 25 years ago.
Yeah. Don Phillips? I've never
I looked him up. I looked him up, man. Yeah, he's still alive and kicking. You need to get him on this show.
How old is he?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Now I had a friend who worked at Skunk Works. And every Monday he would get on a bus and go to Burbank. It's out in California, obviously. And he would go to Burbank. They would get on a plane that had blacked out windows. They would fly up to Skunk Works. They would they'd get off the plane inside the warehouse, and then he would do whatever he did, which he never told us what he did. But
hold on a second. I'm listening to you, but see, Gabby, who runs our IG, let me back up. Entertainment today. I don't know, not necessarily good entertainment, but entertainment today has been the Elon Musk feed on X. And please don't go hopping around. Stay here, y'all, please. Those tweets will still be up later, I'm sure.
Will they?
But yeah, right. Okay. But then I see this from Jeffy Apologist, Elon's most recent tweet about Trump. And of course I was listening to what you were saying, but I thought, you know what? Let me just see if there's anything new since, cause he's been tweeting a bunch today. And 2:10, so 14 minutes ago, Elon Musk tweets out, "Time to drop the really big bomb." Keep in mind, this has been escalating all day. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Okay, this simulation, can we reset it? I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like it a lot.
No,
I don't like
okay,
it.
wait
Because before I saw that tweet, I saw him talking about do we need a new political party in this country? There was another interesting tweet. I can't find it now. This is me in 2021. So he's saying it's a 2021 clip of him saying that get rid of all subsidies. On the EV credit, because a lot of people were saying maybe he is against the big beautiful bill now because it takes away the EV credit for Americans to purchase vehicles like Tesla. So I thought, man, we got to have a lot to talk about tomorrow morning on Packer Unleashed. Then I see this tweet. Thank you, Jeffy Apologist.
Wow.
Oh, hold on. That's not even the big news of the day. The big news is apparently, according to Rachel Dojuan, Steelers are now, it's official. I guess Aaron Rodgers, according to Ratchet Dojuan, that he's going to play for the Steelers next year. That's the big news. It has nothing to do with Trump or Elon.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's some news, huh?
Elon didn't kill himself, says Patrick.
Oh,
This is this a psyop? Everything's a psyop.
Everything.
Is this a psyop?
I just want to talk
I
about a
am
missing plane.
so effing confused.
I know.
Baker just he responded, and just like that, Democrats started buying Teslas again.
Steve Baker was on last week's Friday live stream. Oh, tomorrow the Friday live stream is going to be me, you, and 5 times August. You know that guy. He's a hero. He's awesome.
This is this. Wow. Okay, and I agree with Gray Wolf, who says, "Come on, man! If he was there, the deep state would have found a way to bring that out the last time around,
Right.
while covering themselves. He would have been blackmailed to not run for president."
Yeah.
This smells funny. Does it not?
Everything smells funny, bro.
I know. This is like it's almost like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tweet this, and
have a good day, DJT. Oof.
This is
There's no coming back, man. There's no. He is not going to help Republicans ever again, which I think we already figured anyway.
It's just so fucking weird. Everything is it. Did Ron just send me a text?
I don't know. Was
Did
it
Ron
me?
did Ron? Yes, he just.
I just got a note. I just got a note.
The Elon one.
A note from Ashton. He will be with us here shortly. So, just a heads.
It's a psyop.
Psyop.
It's a psyop.
Okay.
It's got to be. I mean, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. I get it, but is it? I hate this timeline, but at least this broke while we were all together. That's true. We all hold each other.
Yeah, I'd be doing a drinks with Keith right now if I wasn't doing a deep dive here. In fact, I think it's drinking weather.
Intacto says sad part. It isn't what.
Oh, I don't like this one. I like this one over here.
You don't like what? I'm drinking. I had one of my Magic Mind. Is it? I don't want to call it energy shop because Magic Mind reached out. They're not paying me to say this, but they reached out and said, "Hey, do you want to try Magic Mind?" And I'm like, "Is it free?"
Oh, nice. That's the key word, baby.
Yeah, if it's free, it's for me. And so I was like, "Yeah, sharper mind, clean, calm energy, less stress." Maybe that's why I'm just all chill.
Oh, look at you.
12 ingredients.
I don't know how to be chill, so maybe I need some of that.
Maybe you should try some Magic Mind.
Maybe I need to try some mushrooms. I'm sorry. Was that out loud? Anyway, so
I've done them before, but I don't think I got the good ones. It didn't. And maybe taking a handful wasn't the right thing to do.
So where do you
putting
think
mustard on them wasn't right?
Where do you think the political landscape goes after this between Elon and Donald Trump and
I don't see.
I don't understand this world, man.
This is weirder than, I mean, everything keeps getting incrementally more and more bizarre. I mean, has it ever been like this in politics? I mean,
no, are you kidding me? No, if C-SPAN were like this in the 90s, I wouldn't have been the only nerd watching it, man. Like if this was politics 30 years ago.
Right. I've never followed, but I've kept my eye on, but I've never completely followed. And I can't think of a time, even reading about history, I can't think of a time that it's been this
No.
bizarre.
Do you remember that first day in office, January 20th, 2001 for George W. Bush? Do you remember what the big scandal with the big crazy present that the Clinton administration left behind for George W. Bush that had everyone just, oh my goodness, it's crazy. Any
What was
recall?
it? No, I don't.
They took all the W keys out of the
Oh,
keyboards in
that's
the
right.
White House.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's crazy time, man. And now, compared to what we got going on today, holy crap. I pine for those days.
These actors, I'm with Alex Jones. God help us all, forgive our sins. Here's the thing: this is not the end of the world. This is not the second coming, because we see this coming. Ergo, it ain't the second coming.
Oh,
you will not know when it's coming.
That's really philosophical of you.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
What Crispy Jojo says, what if DJT and Musk are planning to stage a fight, and DJT just drops the list and everyone on it craps their shorts? All right.
I mean, I'm not saying that they wouldn't do it that way, but they probably wouldn't do it after a tweet from Elon Musk saying, okay.
Is that front page news on CNN yet?
Oh, what about the commandeered Drudge Report that the left now owns and runs? You know, that's got to be the biggest siren ever. That's got to be. I got to see this because, liberals run that now. I guarantee you, it's a theory, that George Soros owns
Musk
that
MAGA crash landing, stock spirals, Trump and Epstein files Drudge Report.
Where's this big giant siren thing, Do
you see it?
Yeah, I see. Hang on. I got it on this end here. Yeah, but I'm surprised it's not like this big flashing red light.
Well, it's pretty big there at the top.
I guess.
You're welcome. Let's see. This is the 8th of January, 2024. The Independent, the link right there. Donald Trump's alleged sexual proclivities graphically detailed in new Epstein documents.
Oh boy,
that's from 24.
Okay, I don't.
It's not. If it was true, this would have been.
I know.
Unless the other option is that Trump has been part of the whole machine the whole time, and we're screwed.
They've been holding it over his head. You think? If it's true,
no, because they wouldn't have let him run for president. He would have dropped out and said, "Look, I'm sorry. I'm good luck. Bye." So. I beats the hell out of me. I can't eat popcorn because it messes with my teeth. So otherwise I'd grab popcorn. This is weird. 88-year-old woman woke up inside her own coffin after mistakenly being declared dead. Oh, that can't be fun.
That sucks, bro.
That would suck.
But they found it, right?
To me.
What's your biggest fear as far as how you're gonna die?
I just don't want it to hurt. I don't want to see it coming. I don't
want to die screaming.
I don't want to watch myself bleed out. The best you can hope for is to die in your sleep. The second best is to get hit by a train from behind.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It is. I'm not kidding. That is the second best way to go.
All this death talk reminds me. I have to go watch. I have to go watch John Wick this weekend. I'm gonna go see that John Wick 4.
Is it out?
5. Yeah, this weekend.
You know what you need to see before then is the
John Wick 3?
The Wild Robot.
Why? What's that all about?
I'm not going to say it makes you cry, but it'll make you cry. So shut up.
Is it in theaters? The Wild Robot?
No, it's on Netflix.
My bad.
Musk is going to create the X Party. Says Ratchet.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Is that Dow?
I don't know, but make your handle something we can pronounce. We're simple men.
Darwin. Lunch break is over. I have to return to income generating work. Toby, thanks for that. Why is everybody rubbing the money into me?
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I would love that. I
want to show you something else here.
And we're gonna hopefully do. Lev says we need to do a Mojo meetup in Roswell. Go for it. I mean, hopefully we're going to be down there the week of July 4th, which is a Friday, and hopefully we're going to be down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Around the 4th of July.
That's when UFO days are in Roswell.
Oh, see, we're not going to do live streams on the 3rd or 4th. I've decided the Thursday and Friday, the 3rd and 4th. So I'm going to invite myself. If you do a live stream, You know, I can just
Come on.
join
Why
you.
don't you do one, and then I can join you from there.
Okay, we can do it that way. That's fine.
Either
we'll
way.
figure something out. Yeah.
We're working on it behind the scenes right now, so we hopefully it'll. Hopefully, I haven't given it the fecal touch. And, it's just
Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day for talk radio. I'll tell you that. We're going to have some fun, or are we?
Dropped a really big. Is it? Are we going to get another tweet in a second that says, "Hey, I got hacked"?
That I you know what? While you were talking, I was thinking that. Yeah, but I don't. And look, if anybody can fake being hacked, it's Elon Musk, because who's going to go and say, "Hey, Elon, investigate who hacked your account," and then
David Harris just said, "Hey, you just lost all credibility, Elon."
Oh boy. I don't know what his source is. Like, what's Elon's source for?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying it doesn't make any. Okay, Naomi, who's this? Naomi Seibed? Anyway, I could not possibly imagine reading anything more shocking and unsurprising. Donald Trump has seen the swamp because he lived it.
Hold on. There we go. There's your. What if Elon shows evidence? Yeah.
Where's the evidence? What would be the
know.
evidence? If it's a video, because there's not. That's what everybody said is that Epstein had video. He shot video of everybody doing everything with everybody that way and kept it, somewhere secure. I mean, there wasn't a list. There wasn't like an appointment book with Trump at 3:15 with Marsha.
Oh, come on. There's a hole in your story. Ain't no chick there named Marsha.
The Jan Brady or the Marsha Brady look like, you mean? Just saying. Did Virginia Giuffre, did she kill herself?
No, the bus tried to, or the truck, or whatever it was.
Yeah. So this is so.
So let's go back to an earlier thought. Are we living in a simulation? The evidence in the last 37 minutes leads me toward yes, more than it did 37 minutes ago.
I know.
Sweet Lord.
I don't know what to do.
Come over here and let's drink on the back patio tonight, bro.
Dean says it's so over. Oh my God.
Okay, so hold on. Prediction time. Knowing what you know right up to the minute. You'll have to speculate and simulate the next 18 months, okay? Who wins the midterm? Holy shit, man.
Hold on. Let's go over. Let's have fun and go over look at CNN. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Front page CNN. Trump Musk feud explodes into public view. Trump floats terminating Musk's government subsidies and contracts as an online back and forth. Do you see Elon being this kind of person?
Well, did you hear yesterday Speaker Johnson recounting his 30-minute conversation with Elon Musk and how Elon seemed to be on board with the big, beautiful bill, and then 24 hours later, all hell breaks loose. He wants you to wants to stop. Shame on you for voting for it. Call your senators and your congressmen. So that's when people said, "Oh, it must be the subsidies." In fact, it must be the subsidies that got under his skin. And there was and the other thing was he wanted Starlink to be a part of the control towers at the airports, right? The refurbishing of that. And the story that I read this morning, it said something along the lines of a White House source said, or the White House said, or something. That's an important distinction, because if it's a source said, then it was under the table. If the White House said, then it would have been official. And I think it said the White House said. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if it was a Caroline Leavitt thing from the podium. I really don't know. But if the White House said that and tried to make him look bad, you could see where this would escalate. Whether the Epstein nugget is true or not, I still have no idea, obviously.
Just the two of them.
It's so fast. It's such a rapid
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like it's manufactured for entertainment purposes
Yes.
only, as opposed to let it
Yes.
cool off for a few days. Let's talk behind the scenes. Let's have a phone call. Oh yeah, well screw you. You know, I'm
Right.
going to go public with such and
Right.
such if you don't such and
Yeah.
such.
It
As
does
opposed to-
not.
This is like a lover's spat, like being played out in public here. It's like a series of and hold on a second. Trump, and I haven't looked at his Truth Social today, but through this morning, he had not said anything about Elon Musk. And in fact, what he did was he copied and pasted, he retweeted, for lack of a better phrase, a couple of weeks ago when Elon tweeted out, hey, it's been great. Donald Trump is going to, cut government spending, blah, blah, blah. I loved my time with Doge. Time to move on since my 130 days is up or whatever. And so the only acknowledgement that I've seen publicly of Donald Trump referring to Elon was in that copy and paste from his tweet 2 weeks ago, Elon's tweet 2 weeks ago when he was praising Trump. Other than that, Trump he's been going after Rand Paul. He's been talking about his phone calls with Putin. And today he talked about his phone call with
This is Gulf of America. This is Gulf of America. It has to be.
I love Matt Van Swall. I love his tweet last week where he's like, what the hell are Republicans doing? Like this big, beautiful bill, all this spending, we're not getting it. Oh, no, wait, we got a body of water renamed. So we got that going for us.
But that's what this is. That was a dog bone. That was a mainstream media dog bone. They chased it just like they knew they would. This does not. It doesn't make sense.
Nothing makes sense.
And
you think I should protect a kicker in fantasy football? I gotta pick.
I think I would if
I gotta pick 12 players, and I've got Brandon Aubrey of the Cowboys, and he's money. So I was thinking maybe I should.
This does not make any sense because I really don't think that Trump is in the Epstein files. I mean, it's possible, but it really would make. It doesn't make any sense that they haven't used that against him yet. Because they would have put it out there big time.
See, this is normally the part of the program where I try to calculate how much vodka I should consume, but not knowing how long Ashton is going to be and how long he's going to be with us. I'm having a tough time doing the math.
Just suck it down.
I have a tough time with math as it is, and now it's like I'm trying to figure out.
Mandalorian Patriot says, so are we done winning?
Oh, brother. All right, so it's going to be interesting to see what's next. Let me see what else I have here. Let me play this clip. Ashton doesn't need to see this to address it, but he posted this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was. This is a clip from Tucker Carlson, Catherine Fitz, formerly of the Bush administration, second Bush, I believe. Watch this right here. This is interesting. Talking about that energy, man, that they're keeping from us. Hang on. Isn't this good?
It's good. Very good.
All right, there it is. Thank you, Tucker. Hi.
So how convinced are you that breakthrough energy, alternate forms of energy, non-publicly disclosed forms of energy are in use by the U.S. government?
Yes.
I think there's a very high chance that they're in some kind of use in a very controlled, secret way.
Yeah. Well, there are tons of indications, and you've had
a
number of people, like at the contractor level, like I'm a federal contractor, electrician, or a concrete guy or whatever, and I was working on this underground facility. There are a number of people who come forward to say this, and I saw what appeared to be some brand new form of energy I didn't understand.
Right.
Insane people too. Sean Ryan, who's a friend of mine, wonderful guy, honest man, who's a podcaster, did an interview with this guy who was just like a random blue collar guy. I think he was a concrete guy, and he got a call for 1 million yards of concrete or whatever, and went to this underground facility, DOD facility, and saw clearly signs of some energy source that was defied the laws of known physics. So, and there are a bunch of people have said stuff like that. So I don't think it's
So
crazy.
I have two businesses. One is the Solari Report. The other is Solari Screens. I do an investment screen. And I think, a lot has to shift in investment if we're going to have a real civilization and not misallocate. I think we're misallocating capital terribly anyway, but
You think?
he for 30 years has been an investor in a breakthrough energy company.
Someone has been.
Yeah. And it's called Brilliant Light. You can go look at their website, and
Okay.
they're really, they swear they've got it.
And what is it?
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
You got to get him on. And
So, you think this
Okay, so
money
there it was.
has been taken by people who've really
Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant light power by hydrogen
Yep. All sorts of stuff.
to dark matter. By the way, who was it that just said in the chat? JT Black 138. Did Operation Mockingbird really end? No, never did.
Never ended.
It never did.
Why don't you walk us through what Operation Mockingbird is, Brad? Because we see it every day on places like, I don't know, the Drudge Report, for example.
It's essentially the press being the mainstream media being the press arm of the political uniparty and getting their marching orders from whoever is giving out the narrative of the day within the uniparty. Makes the phone call to the clearinghouse for all of the mainstream media. They then run immediately to their typewriters and start typing what they were told to type and put it in the paper and throw it in your front yard. And they all say the same thing.
Do you ever wonder? Okay, so Ron Paul was on a podcast out about a year ago. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Tim Pool, somebody. And he was asked like the most important day in history or something like that in U.S. history. And he said November 22nd, 1963, the day that there was a coup against the sitting president. And I tend to agree. It's a very, very important day. But do you ever think two things? Number one, what track would we be on as a country if Kennedy wasn't killed by his own government? And the other thing is, wonder where we would be as a country if there was no CIA. Okay. I wonder where we'd be as a country if there was no Federal Reserve. I wonder where we'd be as a country if Lincoln didn't. Never mind. That's a previous episode. But you got to go back and watch that conversation. America's first dictator.
But we'd have different. We'd still have the problems, but they would be different problems.
Okay, where would we be? Say no, that's fair. That's it. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Where would we be if Ross Perot didn't drop out of the '92 election? It's just you think of these things and it's so maddening. It's like a choose your own adventure, and we keep choosing the wrong adventure.
But there's never going to be it's never going to be sunshine and blue sky, because that's not ever what life has been anywhere at any point in history, and it never will be.
Take up drinking.
But that's what drinking was invented for. That and mushrooms and
mushrooms. That's right.
cannabis
and Colorado, man.
And everything else. Jeffy Apologist says, does that extend to podcasting? Yeah, that's just it. It's everywhere.
Okay, so remember White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, Michael Kratzio said this, I don't know, a couple of months back. I've got to have Ashton address this guy. What is he? The important thing about this clip, because I watched it again before we went live here, and don't forget, these are prepared remarks. He's not off the cuff. Oh, crap, did I let the cat out of the bag?
We seem to have lost focus and vision, to have lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
What?
Distance annihilated.
Wait, what? Hold on. Again, this is so important. This is a prepared speech.
These permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity.
Obviously, it can be innocently explained away, but yes, but that's just it. Is they drop stuff like that just to go, hey, watch what they do when I see this.
See, that's the other thing. I hate that stuff.
I know. I cannot. There's nothing. It's
Nothing is real.
nothing is real. Nothing is real, and that really is trouble. It doesn't even need to be troublesome because it just is, and that's life. And what's for lunch?
Hang on a second.
Nothing is real.
I gotta check something here real quick. Just bear with me. Just gonna refresh Elon Musk's Twitter page here. Nope. Okay, hold on. Hold on. So 30
biggie for this afternoon. Can you see him putting out another one? I mean,
of course, like I said, if we weren't doing this Thursday deep dive here with Ashton here momentarily, I'd be sitting on the back patio. No, it's too hot. I'd be sitting right here talking. Oh, wait, I am sitting right here talking about.
Right.
You know, listen to this. 39 minutes ago is when he tweeted out the time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. And then 30 minutes ago, so 9 minutes after that, underneath that, he tweeted as part of this thread now, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out.
Mm-hmm. But you think about the tweet, though, it's time to drop the real bomb. That is not saying that is nothing new. That is a theory, call it conspiracy or
Okay,
not.
I got you. So, yeah, you can be
he's
in
not
the
saying
Epstein files
anything.
and be innocent of any crime.
Well, yeah, and he's not
And
saying
plenty of
anything that
people-
hasn't already been said.
Yeah, yeah.
100 times.
Oh.
So I'm telling you, what's the other hand doing right now? Because it's doing something.
Oh,
We
wouldn't
just
that be
don't know
something? What a perfect time for our enemies. To do
No.
something
See, I
really-
don't. I don't think our eye is off the ball at the moment. I think that they've intentionally misdirected. It's a magic trick. They intentionally misdirected our attention at this for some reason, but I don't know what the other reason is.
I bet the CIA knows the other reason.
I don't think they do.
Oh,
No, that's the machine. This is aimed at distracting the machine.
look at this. Look at this right here. Read that.
Just got a text from my sister-in-law asking me if Elon's tweet is true. That's how you know it's bad, because she doesn't even have X. Yeah. Well, and it's all over I bet any Citizen Free Press. What's there? Elon Musk, without me, Trump would have lost.
That was earlier today. That is tame compared to what we just did.
Musk blast Trump, without me, Trump would have lost. That was at 12:08 Eastern time. I'm very disappointed, and I don't see them feuding publicly. I just don't see it. I may be wrong. I just don't see the two of them. The two of them know too much about
each other.
About the crazy. They know what public spats do. They've been in them. They've orchestrated. They both know the fallout. This is it smells orchestrated.
But remember, Elon is no conservative, and he wasn't, a registered Republican or anything like that.
No, he's a common sense guy. He wants to be a
agree.
businessman.
I agree. So,
I mean, it's.
Honestly, this may explain a lot right there. Flinsborg, Elon is on a bender. could be day drinking.
He could be.
Know anything about?
I just have a feeling this is calculated on both sides. It's just way too convenient. Way too convenient.
Okay. I don't know what it's convenient for, though. It seems like
I don't either. That's the point, is that we don't know what the other hand is doing. Very rarely do we.
Elon, surely, to your point, Elon surely has had the thought, if I take down the Republican Party, if in the midterms go to the Democrats, and if I take down Donald Trump and in effect, well, maybe not, but in effect destroy J.D. Vance's chances or whatever. If you want to keep the good times rolling with Donald Trump, surely he remembers the reason why he got behind Trump and spent $290 million on Republican race to begin with, which is because as much as he may hate the policies and spending of Donald Trump, he hasn't forgotten the alternative. I'm not saying choose the lesser of two evils or whatever. I'm just talking strictly as Elon Musk, billionaire, business owner, who stressed over and over again the importance of the 2024 election to the future of not only his businesses, but our country. Surely he understands the damage that he is doing in the last 48 hours.
Does he? And don't call me Shirley. Yeah, there's, this is manufactured. If I had to guess, gun to my head, it's manufactured.
But for what end?
I don't know. I'm not that smart. I wish I was smart. I wish I was smart too, but
you know how better the show would be if I was smart?
Marginally. Huh? Mila Joy says, relax. You're both acting like children. This isn't even worth blowing up the country. Get back to spending cuts, to save the country. I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense to anybody. And that's why it's not. Is it possible it's real?
Wait.
Yeah, but I don't think it is. I think this is something else, but I don't know what it is.
So do me a favor. When you figure out the reason this is manufactured, if you continue down this road, no pressure, but if you do, and you figure it out and you tweet it out, I want you to text me the link to your tweet because I can't wait to see what kind of conclusion you get. I mean, since I stalk you, I know everything you tweet, obviously, your posts, your blogs, everything, but in case it slips through and I miss your response.
It's just like I was saying, it's a Project Mockingbird in real time. I think that's what it is. It's both of them are way too smart. They knew exactly what this would do. And the alternative to Donald Trump and the Republican Party is the Democrat Party, which is jumping out of is jumping straight into the fire. And Elon doesn't want that. And unless Elon walked into the Oval Office and saw Donald Trump zipping the human skin suit back up over a lizard head.
Hang on. Oh no.
I mean, if that happened, then he'd be I've got to
hang on a second. Out. I know what set Elon off. Oh, damn. What time is that? What time's the Elon tweet? Central time.
45 minutes ago, right? So it's 4 o'clock Eastern, 3:15 Eastern.
Okay, so at 1:37 Central, 2:37 Eastern, Trump posted on Truth Social. Remember how I said he hasn't been addressing Elon directly on Truth? Here we go. Trump posted. Now, I guess I could just show you this. Hang on. Instead of just read it. How lame is that? I mean, who wants to just hear me read? Here we go.
I would listen to you read.
Let's see. That's the thing. Let's see. I guess, yeah, sure. Do we read these anymore? Accept. What did I just accept? Elon was wearing thin, Donald Trump wrote. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy.
See, that doesn't make sense. That sounds... No, this is...
Okay, I can't wait to see.
I may end up eating my words, but this just does not sound real. It sounds manufactured.
Again, for what end?
Stacy says it's all made up. Seriously, Walter, that'd be one hefty lizard person. Yeah. They're both of these guys are way too smart to just go these, all fifth grade on each other in the.
Are they? So have you ever had these little made good things? Carrie buys these, and here we go. They're granola minis, and I've just been hungry over here, and I've been eating them. And
I think I have had those. I was thinking about having a snack in here, but then I thought I would spit everything all over everything, and I didn't want to do that.
But I'm a little pissed because, and maybe I'll go back and check the tape. No, I won't, but somebody can. I'm pretty sure that the first bag had 7 of these little granola balls, and this second pack only has 6.
Wasn't that your nickname in high school?
Granola balls? Should be somebody's nickname. That's good.
It should be, yes.
Granola balls, come here. That's too many syllables. Hold on. Nola balls. Yeah, that works.
Tim Poole says, I guess they were right when they said Elon and Trump would go to war eventually. It just doesn't. No, this does not.
I love how Brad is all about. No, this isn't real. This is manufactured.
It just doesn't feel right. My spidey sense is tingling. Big time. Something's tingling.
Chris Matthews, is that you?
What did I sit on? Whoa. That's not mine. It's not my chair. No way. That's not.
Hang on a second. I got a text here. Let me see if it's our guest. Joining in a couple. Oh, good. Here we go. Ashton Forbes is.
I mean, it's. My bag got delivered too, so now I'm all excited to go out and find my bag. It's on the front. It's in the lobby of the motel here, and I just.
What kind of bag are you talking about?
I needed a good bag to hold my stuff in, all my schniz, and because and I didn't want it like a backpack. I just wanted something that was big enough that if I wanted to have like my like an iPad or something in it, and things that go bang, that I could have that, and immerse essentially. But I wanted to be kind of butch, so that people are like, whoa, he's that's. Mm-hmm. And so I ordered one, and I'm anxious to see if it's the right size, because I went to a bunch of stores and looked, and they didn't have anything that I wanted, and it looked like, Amazon would deliver it, right to the doorstep. Which again, you gotta love this country. I'm so confused. I'm not really confused. I'm just in the back of my mind that all of my RAM right now is still sorting through. So it's like I'm trying
it'll reset after you sleep.
I think it will, but it's like trying to word process while all the RAM is being sucked up by the reason thing.
The RAM is the temporary
yes.
Yeah, memory. I don't know why I remember that.
That's because you're using your RAM to remember that. Random access memory.
No, I'm using my ROM to remember that, because I've remembered it for so many years. So I think I'm using my ROM to remember that there's RAM.
Well, are you using your CD-ROM? That would be read-only memory.
I miss those. I miss having like floppies. video games on CD-ROMs.
I miss floppies.
Yeah. Kids don't even know what that means.
Who doesn't love a good floppy? Right?
Well, it'd be a good time for Ashton to appear at the bottom. Oh my goodness! What a perfect timing! I was just saying, Ashton, what a perfect time this would be for Ashton to appear, and magically I should have tried that an hour ago. Sir, how are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Man.
Yeah, doing well. Good. It's a busy day.
Busy day. I mean, look,
he hasn't heard yet. He hasn't seen.
Okay, so you've been busy, Ashton, and we've been we played a few videos that we'll go over with you here. But since you've been so busy, are you aware of the breaking news? The online feud right now between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. It is getting out of control.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one. Let me just set the record straight. Elon Musk has no idea about this advanced technology. He's either an Oscar-winning actor in disguise, or he just literally has no idea whatsoever. And Trump does know. Trump definitely knows. He knows we have weapons nobody understands. He's said it multiple times. That's not a mistake. Anytime the president is doing, public statements and repeating the exact same line verbatim, that means that's a narrative that they've written into it to get that information disseminated. Same reason why Kratsios, the science and technology advisor, is saying that we have technology that can manipulate time and space. I mean, he's not messing around. We literally have it. It's Tesla technology, if you want to think of it like that. It goes back to Tesla's science, his view of the ether, his view that space-time is this medium that we can interact with, which opens the door to wireless communication and wireless energy as well.
It's so fascinating, man. And I genuinely believe that you, sir, for the last 3 years, it's just been fascinating to watch you go down this trail and uncover this stuff piece by piece by piece, to the point where now you're considering that you're an enemy of the state. And I don't doubt that at all. I mean, seriously. But I want to play some things for you, but before we do that,
hi Ashton. By the way, good to see you.
I'm sorry, Brad is hanging out here with us, and he's over at the dailymojo.com.
There's so many things running through my mind right now.
I know. What a day, Ashton. What a day. So earlier we played the Gorgon stare thing that you revealed a few weeks ago. I think the version I played had had spliced into it some MH370 video that wasn't a part of the original video. But you know, and I accidentally played that one, but it fits perfectly. It's beautiful. I bet you're the one that did that, aren't you? But it's really great. So can you just kind of explain where we're at, just to kind of reset? MH370 vanishes over a decade ago. Ashton finds a video online. He sees that the plane disappeared, tries to figure out what's going on with the orbs around it. See behind him the 4 orbs thing back there. It just vanished, and so piece by piece, Ashton has been peeling the layers off of this onion for the last 3 years, out in public with experts, with different sources. I mean, it's just fascinating. So pick it up there, Ashton, where the developments in the last, I don't know, month or two, especially how the Gorgon stare element works in here.
Yeah, I think it's probably important for me to explain how the Gorgon stare revelation occurred. People have been saying Gorgon stare in my replies and on my live streams, and I hadn't really noticed because I had been inundated with the idea that the one video must be coming from a satellite because it's called Satellite Video Airliner and UFOs. In the bottom left corner, it says NROL 22. So what does this all mean? And it looks like we're looking at a plane from really far away, right? In the video, that's what it looks like. Well, it turns out Gorgon stare wide area motion imagery is set to look like a satellite video. That's the point of it. In fact, it's like Google Earth interactive 3D video Google Earth. And Gorgon stare is actually recorded via drones with cameras underneath the drones flying at altitude. And the first thing that started me down this path was that, well, the plane is flying really low. I've been saying that for 2 years. The plane's flying really low in the videos because of the cumulus clouds. So was it actually possible that there could be another aircraft above it recording it? And people had mentioned this, and I had kind of just dismissed it. But when I started to ask AI about looking at the picture, analyzing the distance, it said, yeah, the drone above it's about 18,000 feet. And that's well within the parameters of a drone flying above it. And the other thing, simultaneously, I had already been down this path that the camera recording that must have been Argus IR. I found this DARPA contract that was like 2010 to 2014, right before this, about this super advanced camera that's made for nighttime surveillance that was connected to wide area motion imagery. And I had already determined that what we were looking at there is not video in the satellite video. It's wide area motion imagery, which has a specific definition. Anything under like 24 frames per second is not considered video because that's just by definition. Whammy, wide area motion imagery, is a low frame rate resolution because it's looking over a city-sized area and creating a full interactive view of that. And how it works is Argus takes pictures, like I think it's like 384 pictures multiple times per second. Or no, 6 times per second or 10. It depends. Like the frame rate's actually gotten better over time. So what we're looking at in that video is 6 frames per second. And then I went, okay, I've got this Argus camera. How does this connect to the whammy? And I decided one day, this is in my own research, check all the whammy capabilities using AI. AI's gotten really good and has all the public data. So tell me all the whammy capabilities, which ones would have nighttime capability? Reduced it down to 3 right away. Angel Fire, I think it was called, which is an older version of whammy. Can rule that one out. Argus, the one that I had identified and been talking about, and Gorgon stare. And so I'm trying to figure out, I'm looking at the two capabilities. They look almost the same. And I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between these. How do I know which one it is? And I'm like, at this point, it's got to be one of these two. And then I start digging into the links and I find out Argus got integrated with Gorgon stare in something called Gorgon stare increment 2. And I go, holy shit, because next thing I know, I'm looking through my own replies, searching for Gorgon stare, and there's a bunch of people being like, when I had figured out it was whammy, they're going Gorgon stare, Gorgon stare. And I got in touch with somebody that worked at China Lake on Big Safari, which is where they test all the drones and the surveillance capabilities. And they said, I've seen all the Gorgon stares, or a lot of them, and that is no doubt Gorgon stare imagery.
Is it just looking? Is it all the time? Is that just flying around taking pictures all the time?
Capability because the drones can fly for more than 12 hours. So all you need is 2 drones. One drone goes up, the other one comes down. While the one's refueling, the next one goes up. And as long as there's an overlap, They're constantly recording that data, and that data is being beamed through the satellite. NROL-22 is the relay satellite to the drone. The drone's shooting that information to the relay satellite, NROL-22, that beams it to the ground-based computers, potentially through Sierra Nevada Corporation's own servers, and then that gets produced and built into this interactive map, which gets fed to the Joint Tactical Intelligence Network. Who's that? That's the Special Covert Operations people. That's the people beyond SEAL Team 6, Delta Force. That's like the special people they pull from that. The people that go on these operations, it's called going through the green door. You get one of these green door assignments. It's the kind of thing where in special circles, it means everything, but you don't really get to put it on your resume because you can't talk about what you did and why you did. And now the last thing I'll say is, why is this important? Because nobody who was on that operation would ever leak this video. Never in a million years. They're never, ever, ever going to pick somebody to be on this operation that has even anything more than a 0% chance of ever revealing this information. This is how they've been so good at keeping all this stuff secret. You just never.
The opposite of Bob Lazar.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you would never have like a Bob Lazar scenario like this. So who leaked it? Edward Lynn. Edward Lynn wasn't on the operation. Edward Lynn was in the VPU2 Wizards. What I think happened now that everything's coming to focus, is that somebody, one of his Taiwanese contacts, reached out to him and said, hey, that missing plane, you should try to figure out where it's at. Go log into the system. He logs into the system, sees the Gorgon stare, boom, sees the videos. What happens? He immediately knows we're covering it up. He immediately knows the situation. That is a covert operation. And what? He freaks out. You're a patriotic American and you see your country is running an illegal operation and they're covering it up. They're literally covering up in real time. You're watching the media lie on TV about it. You're watching the government pretend like they don't know what's going on when they're the ones orchestrating the cover up in real time. So he downloads it. He brings his laptop in, which has unsecured USB ports. And he puts it on his laptop, plugs the USB port in, and walks away with it. And then he gives it to his Taiwanese person who might be regicide anon, and they upload it on the internet. Boom. Now you've got the videos leaked on the internet. And
are they still alive?
He's, as far as I know, he's in hiding, which of course he's in hiding. He's legally changed his name. He's in hiding. His lawyer has turned off his phone. None of them will return any phone calls that I make. And I've contacted his point of business where he owns a business out there. I don't want to say what, because I don't want to harass him, but they won't contact me back. So I talked to somebody in the VPU2 Wizards recently, somebody that actually worked in the VPU2, had crossover with Edward Lynn, and they confirmed to me, they didn't give me anything classified. So feds don't freak out. I actually specifically said, don't say or tell me anything that's classified. I'm not trying to play that game.
Right.
And I don't need it. I don't need it. And they said, yes, Edward Lynn would have had access to that Gorgon stare capability. And I was like, you mean he would have had access to something that sensitive? Like, we're looking at orbs zap a plane out of the sky. He's like, yeah, no question, would have had access. And he also said something that was not reported in the media, that Edward Lynn, when he got rolled up in May, when he was caught with those flight manifests that include search and rescue code names, he was caught with USB drives, flash drives at that time as well. And that makes a lot of sense, because that's why they were coming. You don't come down on somebody because of what? You got a flight manifest?
Right.
Who cares about that? No, he had USB drives with the videos on them that caught him with USB drives, the data. And
what month did 370 go missing?
March.
Yeah, March.
March.
So then he gets rolled up in May. Now, the weird part is to the public, they say that they arrested him in September of 2015, like a year and a half later than that. So this story doesn't make any sense, because the moment you suspect somebody is like, you know, like whatever, he's a traitor, you're not going to let him go back to work, right? Like, oh, go back to the super secret area. But maybe they did, and they were just watching him.
Right.
So, you know,
part of the reason I asked that is because it went missing in March, and this press release that you were talking about, Sierra Nevada, and the corporation, and working those two, the persistent, the Gorgon stare, and the other, the press release on those two merging is July 1st, 2014 on that press release.
Yeah. How crazy that date. So this is why the videos are so damning. They had surveillance capabilities that they hadn't even had press releases for yet. Like, they were looking at Gorgon stare increment 2 3 or 4 months before the press release. But they were working on it before that. So now we're looking at people that had sequestered technology, right? These people, whoever was running that operation, they're using cutting edge stuff that there's not even really being publicly talked about yet, including the camera, the other video, the one where people are going, there's no color FLIR. That's what people were saying to me at the beginning of this. No, that is color FLIR. They're using a color palette to colorize the FLIR video. And that capability, if that is the Lightning G4 by Northrop Grumman, which is what that China Lake source kind of led me down the path, and it looks exactly like it is that camera. That color standard capability, at least it wasn't being bragged about until 2021. Now, it may have been standard on the G4, but the interesting thing about the G4 Lightning Pod is that it was the first one that became like upgradable. Like you could customize the kit. So theoretically, when I log in, I can customize my setup for my camera so it's different than somebody else's. And theoretically, that allows for software upgrades as well. So they were using 2 sensors that were like state of the art to record that plane in that operation.
So you mentioned, what was it? China Lake? Is that what you, I forgot what you just mentioned.
Yeah,
there.
China Lake, the big safari project, which is the surveillance thing. But
well, before you joined us, I played a clip, and I don't need to play it again because I'm sure it's familiar to you. But in fact, if I'm being honest, I probably got this clip off of your feed somewhere. But the Don Phillips clip from 2001, does that ring a bell with you? Do you know?
Yeah, he mentioned that. He mentioned the whole manipulation of time
Lockheed
and
Martin
space.
Skunk Works, U.S. Air Force.
This guy right here. Okay, so I wasn't going to play this again, but didn't he say that he was talking about China Lake in this clip 25 years ago?
Papatus Lake, Area 51. So what he says here, people get confused by this. He's saying that the orbs are us. He's saying that they knew the orbs were us because the test flight facility, he was working at he was with the Air Force, but he had worked at Lockheed Martin. And so when he sees these orbs flying around, coalescing and then teleporting something or disappearing, which is what he says, they spin in a circle and they disappear. He's saying that he knew that that was a flight test, because he's looking at the flight test facility that they used to test stuff on. So that's why he's so calm when he's just sitting here going, yeah, we saw some orbs get into formation and spin around and then just zap away. And so this is where, to me, this is important because it starts to give us a time frame for how long and who's been working on this. I would bet almost anything those orbs are Lockheed Martin. I mean, that's who they are. That's not Air Force standard technology. Like that's Lockheed Martin's orbs. We've got Northrop Grumman's camera. We've got Sierra Nevada Corporation's whammy capability. We're starting to realize all these defense contractors, they're all in bed with one another. The people in the know, they're all doing these, they all know this. Like imagine at a bare minimum, Sierra Nevada Corporation, Northrop Grumman, and probably Lockheed Martin all know those videos are real. Why do they know? Because they built the shit we're looking at in there. They built it.
Go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say that's a perfect segue into what today's topic was. That really, when we were talking to you on Pack Ray Unleashed a few weeks ago, that really stuck out to me toward the end of the conversation. You mentioned a couple of names of, I guess, gatekeepers for this technology. There are people, there are companies. You just mentioned several of them right there that are keeping this technology under wraps. This world-changing technology. And so that's what I wanted to have you on today to discuss. Can you give us some names of who is keeping this stuff from us and why?
Yeah, it's straight up free energy technology. Don't let anybody gaslight you. It is straight up free energy technology. The point where they started to get afraid of me last year was when I realized that it was free energy, that this was all. I mean, if you're watching a plane get teleported, that's the size of a Boeing 777, a massive airplane. The amount of mass energy in this is huge. And then you have this tiny little blip and it's just gone and now it's somewhere else. You just transferred a huge amount of energy from one location to the other. And it didn't take that much energy to pull it off. That proves that you should be able to, in theory, teleport energy from somewhere else in the universe to where you're at and have it be a net gain. So right off the bat, it's all about free energy. And the papers that everybody needs to look at are the Defense Intelligence Reference Documents, also known as the DIRDs. Get that into your vocabulary right now. The Defense Intelligence Reference Documents are the most important scientific papers in human history. They are 38 papers that were commissioned by Hal Puthoff through the Defense Intelligence Agency. to say, where is science going to be in 2050? What it really means is, here are all the black project engineers that have been doing sketchy secret shit that they can't really talk about, but they can give you the concepts of what they've been talking about, because publicly this stuff will become a reality by 2050. That's what the papers are saying. Those papers are, if you really add them up, it explains everything we see in the MH370 videos, and it's not a coincidence.
Take a look at that, Keith. Grab that screen that I've got. This is the that's from 2009. Metallic is the
yeah. So
one
you found the whole archive here. So if you see on the left side, you have all 38 DIRDs listed out, except for one I think is still classified. There's a laser powered one that's still classified. And we've got everything here from metamaterials to teleportation protocols to wormholes, warp drives, extracting
invisibility cloaking theory.
Everything.
Can you zoom in on that, Brad? That list
right
there.
The
invisibility one. This paper says is the best way to make something invisible is to bend space-time around you entirely to make yourself invisible.
Optical cloaking.
So like even what the papers say, like they're even crazier than what they say. And I read the one last night about, I did a whole live stream about the quantum teleportation and the experiments that they've done about quantum teleportation. And it's mind-blowing. So they don't have the author names on the papers, but you can find them. Like I actually dug around, I found all the author names, and these guys are not, these are like some of the smartest minds in the entire world. Friedwart Winterberg, who he was taught under Werner von Braun.
Oh my goodness.
A project paperclip scientist that we brought over, an expert at fusion. And he has this Planck ether. He wrote 2 or 3 of these. The other one that he wrote is like the negative mass propulsion one as well.
Look at that one. Warp drive, dark
drive.
Energy, manipulation of extra dimensions.
Yeah, Abusi wrote this with Eric W. Davis. So you want some names? This is crazy as shit. Hal Puthoff just went on Joe Rogan. He's the one that commissioned all these papers. That means he knows all of these scientists. What does that mean? That means Hal Puthoff is MJ number 1. He's the guy at the top. He's 89 years old. I guarantee he's been in Intel his whole life. Eric W. Davis is his right-hand man. He wrote 6 of these papers. Yeah. 6. Including the wormhole one, including the laser-powered one, including the extracting energy from the quantum vacuum, including that warp drive one that you're looking at. Eric Davis was sitting next to Anna Paulina Luna in the most recent UFO hearing thing they did. She was giving him googly eyes. Why is Eric Davis getting googly eyes from Anna Paulina Luna as a whistleblower in the UFO thing? It's not because of how many aliens he knows. He helped build the teleportation protocol that they use to teleport the plane. He's the one who helped. They brought him in because they're like, hey, you're an expert on space-time manipulation. Hey, we got these magic plasma orbs that are free energy plasma orbs. Can we turn them into a triangle and make them teleport something? And so he worked with some of these other guys, probably John Kramer, who's the guy that wrote the quantum teleportation or non-locality paper in here. They all worked together and they figured this stuff out. And or Lockheed Martin has been like individually hiring these guys, and then Lockheed Martin just put all their work together. Like, I don't really know what the real answer is, but like that's the story being told here from these papers. Now, one more thing I want to bring up because you want more names. If you look at Eric W. Davis's work with the Air Force Research Labs in the 2000s, he wrote 2 insane papers. One is called Teleportation Physics Study. It's like a 70 or 80 page paper, goes through all the forms of teleportation, including the sci-fi version and the real version. And he also wrote another one called Ball Lightning Study. Ball lightning, as in like taking a ball of plasma and making it coherent and able to just float around. So Eric Davis was writing these papers, and the project manager for all those papers was Franklin Mead. So now I'm starting to build a web where like this guy, Franklin Mead at the Air Force, was pulling together the smartest people ever. And what are they working on? Stabilizing plasma, teleportation. Oh, and by the way, Frank Mead was working on perfect propulsion. perfect propulsion. He's got a
What's
paper that he wrote with George Miley, who's a cold fusion expert, called Dense Plasma Focus 2005. In that paper, they talk about making a ball of plasma that's basically using Russian hypersonic designs, and it accumulates practically infinite energy, gigawatts of excess energy, just by flying around. Just by flying around through the air. It zaps the air with a laser, and the genius engine idea, it extracts energy upstream. So the reason why those orbs are like on train tracks, it looks like they're riding train tracks with these lines in front of them. It's because it's shooting a laser forward, zapping the air, extracting energy from the air, and then it has this little exhaust plume behind it going out, and it's using the energy in almost a perfectly efficient way. That's why they look like they're just floating through the sky.
This is such a weird day.
Ashton, this is incredible, man.
Oh, I mean, how do you think I feel about this? Like, I was blaming Salvatore Pais, the U.S. Navy engineer. I was thinking he's the guy that did it because he had these patents that were out there. This is the craziest revelation. In my third interview with him, he just randomly tells me, like, oh, I was trying to get a research team together after I had those patents, and I got blocked. And I'm like, what? Who? I'm like, it wasn't Hal Puthoff, was it?
And was it?
Yes, it was Hal Puthoff, Jay Stratton, and Eric Davis. So it turns out all the guys that wrote these papers, the guys that figured this stuff out, they're gatekeeping anybody else from figuring it out to prevent from it coming out. But at the same time, they've gotten older. And what I think has happened is they thought people were going to figure it out more than they did. And nobody's really figured it out. These papers are like 15, 20 years old. And nobody's figuring it out. So now they're going, okay, well, maybe we can let like some of it come out because like our suppression worked way better than they expected. Way better.
Well, and this is what they did to Tesla back in the day with the what the hell was the place called in New Jersey? The tower?
Wardenclyffe.
Yeah, Wardenclyffe. And who was it? Was it Standard Oil? Not Rockefeller. Who's the other guy? Him. That was like. Yeah, JP Morgan. It was like, we're not going to continue to invest in a free source of energy because then what are we going to sell? And took him out. And so this has been done before.
It's crazy that they've been hiding this shit for probably, and it's not that necessarily teleportation. Like I was kind of surprised to find that maybe they only figured out the teleportation part in the 2000s, so it only might be like 20 years old, which is still kind of crazy to think. They've been hiding that for that long. But they've known about this Tesla science for 100 years. They've been hiding that for 100 years, maybe more. And the defense contractors know it's real. The government at the top knows it's real. People in the know it's real. They just have no incentive whatsoever to try to convince the general public that's generally brainwashed into a false view of physics.
It's easy to hide the teleportation thing because it sounds batshit crazy.
Right.
Well, that's the weird part is it's not crazy at all. It's like 100% consistent with normal, regular physics. It was literally Einstein. This is the one that Einstein-Rosen. I mean, that is, Einstein-Rosen bridge. That's what a wormhole is because Einstein knew we are in a flat topography. Okay, so our space-time is flat. It doesn't look flat, but it is. And what that means is if I have a flat surface, how do I make a wormhole? I just do this, right? This point and this point are connected. They don't appear to be connected, but they are. So,
you bend it. You have to bend it.
It's bending space-time through an extra dimension that we don't perceive, but it's absolutely there. It's absolutely there. And we know it's there because we can measure the quantum fluctuations with the Casimir effect. And the connection is that space-time that Einstein talked about, that is filled with this 0-point energy. That the 0-point energy is what gives space-time its structure, its form. So you think of space-time like a sponge. Squeeze the sponge and water comes out. Squeeze space-time and 0-point energy, real energy comes out of it.
Right. This paper, cognitive limits on simultaneous control of multiple unmanned spacecraft. That sounds like it's mind control over physical mechanical structures. Is that what that sounds like?
I haven't read this one yet, but yes. And there's no way that humans are controlling the orbs in those videos. So now I begin to wonder if this isn't more of like, what can AI do? Like, how many orbs can AI control at once, right? Like, there must be a limit, presumably. And
So you
I
think
also
it's
wonder,
AI controlling them?
yeah, there's no doubt AI guidance system in those orbs. Yeah, for sure. In fact, I think I found a paper where they were working on the AI guidance system like 20, 30, 40 years ago too. So they just put, there's definitely a mechanical thing inside the orbs. It's like an engine, and it's got a laser in it. It's got an AI guidance system. It's got a quantum communication system to communicate with the orbs externally. So it's like a Swiss Army knife, those orbs are. That's why they're so impressive. I mean, I was talking to Sal, the Navy engineer, privately. I was talking to him, and I was just going, like, how many Nobel Prizes do you think those orbs represent? And he's like, probably more than 12. Like, probably more than 12 Nobel Prizes. That's how crazy far ahead they are. Like, it's just absurd.
Okay,
and
so
all the answers are there. They're just all in these papers. And these papers, again, these are 15, 20-year-old papers. Like, even though they were published in 2010, some of these are from science that was, like, classified but not, like, widely spread in 2005 in the 2000s. And
laser lightcraft nano satellites.
That one's good. Yeah. And so they've just figured out, and a lot of these, if you read between the lines, they've just figured out how to make a single stage to orbit craft using laser propulsion. So the laser propulsion you see on those orbs, a single stage to orbit just means like one thing that goes straight to orbit. And the big thing they had to get rid of was the fuel tanks. Get rid of the fuel tanks. So what are you going to use as fuel instead? We're just going to use the air. There's hydrogen in the air. There's oxygen in the air. We have what we need in the air. If we zap the air and cause the air molecules to just come apart, boom. Now we're doing fission and fusion.
That's the air breathing propulsion.
This is the most amazing paper ever. This one, I didn't know what the hell any of that meant. Really what this means, if you just break it down, they're using magnetism and this hypersonic jet that just flies around to have it just produce energy because it's flying around. And they use the speed of this thing flying around creates a shock wave. Well, the shock wave acts like a Z-pinch effect, like in fusion. So it forces things to come together. And when that happens, molecules fuse. So they've actually turned this engine into a drone that is also a fusion reactor that's just producing energy. And that's why they say that in the dense plasma focus paper by Frank Mead, that they're producing gigawatts of excess energy with Q factors of 3 to 6 or higher. Q factor is the over unity factor, meaning how much more energy out are you getting than you're using. And they said it was 3 to 6. If we had a consistent Q factor of 3 from any fusion reactor on this planet, we'd probably already be in free energy utopia right now.
Okay, so
like, that's 3 times the amount of energy out that's going in. What are we talking about here? Like, how are people not reading what it's written on the paper?
Okay.
Because most people don't understand. My brain is bleeding right now.
Right,
and
yeah, exactly.
I grasp some of what you're saying, and it's going to hit me later on tonight. But
as you're discovering this, Ashton, I mean, it is absolutely fascinating. And you talk about the papers that are 10 to 15 years old. The Don Phillips clip we played is 25 years old. And so this has obviously been around for a while. So as you're going through this, and it's absolutely fascinating, it is mind-blowing. And as Brad described, our brains are bleeding from it. So it's very exciting as you're uncovering this. But tell me, what part of you is angry as you're going through this, that this has been kept from us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super pissed. I hate that they hide physics, especially because they brainwashed people. I mean, I like have people, PhDs, that would come into my replies that are like, 0-point energy is insignificant and there's no way to extract it. And I'm sitting here going, here's the paper by Robert Forward, who's a legendary engineer in 1984, proving that Casimir effect extracts energy from the vacuum. No question. You can charge a battery with it. And then immediately, instead of just being admitting that they were wrong about the previous point, immediately roll into the next NPC point of, well, there's no way to perpetually extract the energy. Well, Robert Ford was working on that too. It's just like it's so disappointing to find that it's like when you meet your heroes and find out they're all frauds, right? Like, it turns out all these academics, none of them are doing any original work whatsoever. None of them are doing any research. None of them are thinking outside the box at all. 99% of the academic PhDs are science communicators. All they do is repeat whatever they read in mainstream media and repeat it as if it's gospel. Or even worse, sometimes they'll debunk things like, oh, I watched this thing, this claim that blah, 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 and I debunked it. And it's like, this is what science has become, is just like literally the biggest idiots in the world pretending like they're super smart and making everybody bow down to them because they've got credentials, and it's like the science, the peer review process just needs to go completely away. It's just completely failed us. The fact that the government
what system do you use?
Well, that's the big question. We need a better system, but just the fact that like the government is potentially 12 to maybe even 20 Nobel Prizes ahead of academia. At some point, we got to say, guys, we messed up somewhere, and then to answer your question, what's the system? Well, first we have to figure out what the problem is, right? How did this even happen? We can't come up with a new system until we figure out how this happened.
Right.
And they've been brain draining academia, pulling in the smartest people, letting the stupidest ones go on TV and keep saying the stupid stuff. Meanwhile, all the smart people get buried in NDAs building magical technology. So, we probably have to start by stopping the system of suppression, right? Let's start there.
Yeah. So you mentioned H.E. Is it Puthoff? You said you're saying he was the head guy.
Puthoff's the final boss, man.
Okay,
I can't find anybody else that's more connected to he's connected to everything.
Okay,
everything, and he found Eric Davis,
and under him, you have the traversable wormholes. You talked about stargates, negative energy. You talked about him.
So let me set the stage. Let me set the stage for you. So in the 80s, Hal Puthoff connects with Ken Shoulders. 1980s, when Ken Shoulders realized there really is an ether. Ether exists, and when he realized that, he's the father of microelectronics. He's the reason why we have small electronics. He realized we can stabilize a ball of plasma because there's a medium. So things are in a medium, you can make a bubble. So he starts experimenting with EVOs, stabilizing these balls of plasma, and he gets connected with Hal Puthoff and Bill Church, who is the owner of Church's Chicken. That's their financier. Then in the early 90s, that becomes, they call it condensed charge research, because the breakthrough isn't even necessarily the stabilized plasma. The breakthrough is that these charge, like positive or negative charges, they're getting very dense and stacked together when that shouldn't happen, because they should repel. Like charges repel. But what Ken Shoulders saw was they were clumping together when they shouldn't. And this is a huge boon. Why? Because you have a huge amount of charge here and a huge amount of opposite charge here. What do you create? You create a lightning ball. However more dense it is, that has how much energy it has. So you're creating something that's very, very energetic. That's what you're creating. And that became the second and third highest priority research for the Pentagon in the early 90s, only behind the B-2 stealth bomber and optical computing, just to give you some context of how important they considered it. And then it went dark. And then the Marauder program happened, where they started accelerating plasma toroids towards the speed of light. And that project was successful, and then that went dark. Now, why did that go dark? Oh, well, probably because they figured out they were creating stabilized plasmas that were not dissipating. Hey, we created this plasma toroid. Now it's like a smoke ring, and it's just floating around there, and it should have like dissipated and gone away. And then the NASA breakthrough physics propulsion happens in the 90s. Now, this is where NASA gets some of the smartest physicists, including Eric W. Davis and Hal Puthoff, and they start looking for breakthrough technologies. And all the ones that were considered likely were teleportation, wormholes, extracting energy from the quantum vacuum, etc. And then in the 2000s, that's when the Air Force Research Lab papers come out. Ball lightning study, teleportation physics study, dense plasma focus. So now we're seeing all these papers that imply that these plasma balls can exist, and they can start trying to put the pieces together. And then lastly, we see in the 2010s, then we see there's this guy that Rene Thibodeau, who helped figure out this perfect propulsion with the plasma, where essentially just like the motion of it itself is just perfectly efficiently using your engine. So you imagine that energy usage would be almost nothing. And that's what allows the orb to become essentially a free energy device.
Every time you talk about the movement becoming energy, I think static electricity.
It is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Static electricity, you're rubbing something, and what are you doing? You're ripping the electrons off of it. And so then why does static electricity happen? Because you've got this oversaturation of electrons. Whenever you have more electrons than positrons, you create an asymmetry. And when there's an asymmetry, everything's trying to go back into symmetry. So when you separate the charges, what do they want to do? They want to come back together. That's why they attract, right?
And that's
Now
what shocks
imagine
the
that. Now
shit
look
out of
at
your hand when you touch a doorknob.
Yes. Now, and that's just a tiny amount of electrons, right? Now imagine a plasma ball that's 20 feet wide, a 20-foot wide plasma ball of static electricity that's super, super dense. You don't want to go anywhere near that thing. The way that they zap the plane is that's a huge static electric charge, and they've got it separated and stabilized. They've got it separated and stabilized so that it doesn't come back together. And then when they bring the orbs together, what happens? Well, what happens when your hand gets too close to the doorknob, right? Ow. Zap.
So where did the plane go? I mean, you may have said this before. Does it still exist? I mean, the first thing I think with that much energy happening at the same time that whatever that plane was and the people on it were, you get zapped by that much energy. Do you just go poof and you're gone, or where did it go?
Yeah, and this will probably have to be one of the last topics. So I'm gonna have to drop back here in a minute. But I have appreciated this conversation, which is. So last night I did a big deep dive into this. You really have to dig into the double slit experiment and non-locality to understand time travel. It's an absolute requirement. And I found
so it's a time thing. Okay.
Yeah. John Kramer is the guy that wrote the DIRD on, I don't know if you just want to go to the full screen for a second, so it's just easier for people to see here. John Kramer is the guy that wrote the DIRD about the quantum, the double slit experiment and non-locality and what have you. Oh no, I was thinking like go to us. You can just go to us. We don't need the paper up. No.
Okay.
You can just go to us. People want to see us talking, not necessarily that. Yeah.
Are you sure?
So in that paper, they figured out how to create Morse code. One of the big problems is if you create two entangled particles and separate them, well, you can interact with one of them, but you don't know how you're interacting with it. You just know you're interacting with it. So whatever you changes the other one, but you don't know what you're doing. So if you're looking at the one side, you can't tell like what was this supposed to mean? There's no way to tell what the key is to the code. So instead they figured don't even worry about that at all. But instead what we'll do is we'll send one over here and then we'll send this one through a trap that splits it, joins it, and recombines it. And then what we'll do is we'll turn a little switch. And what this switch will do is means that this other one over here that we sent this other direction, when I switch the switch back and forth, either becomes coherent or decoherent. And now what does this do? This creates a switch where you're flipping between a 1 and a 0. You're flipping between either a coherent situation or a decoherent situation. So this is our 1 and this is our 0. So that means now all I have to do is just flip the switch. Boop, 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 boop. And what can I do with that? I can create Morse code. I can create a computer program with it.
Yeah.
But John Kramer showed that we don't need to worry about measuring the polarization of the entangled particles. He said we can create an apparatus where we can get a switch out of it, and now we can turn it into Morse code. And it can be, and then the question is retro causality possible? Can you go to the past? That's really the big question.
The theories says that it can, right?
The experiments show that absolutely you can. The experiments and the math show that you can vary the path length of your apparatus, and this will create a retrocausal signal where you're already seeing the answer. The scenario I give people is imagine you have your two paths, and these things are going to create an image. So the one path just goes straight to us, and we're seeing the image in real time, and we see a dog appear. That tells us the other path, it's going to create a dog on the other side. That's giving us information about the future. That's retrocausality, right? I just learned that this path over here is going to create a dog because I saw it right here, and it hasn't happened for another minute. I just saw the future with that. So the question is that going to be allowed? Is a paradox going to be allowed, right? Because if you have retrocausal signaling, well, what happens then if I change, I see the answer, I can see the answer is going to become a dog. What happens if I change it and say, nope, it's going to be now a cat? Well, I just changed the past. So what's the universe going to do? The smartest scientists like John Archibald Wheeler, who invented the term wormhole and black hole, and Richard Feynman, who won Nobel Prize for quantum electrodynamics, their view was that the universe is deterministic and it will not allow paradoxes to happen, that nature will step in somehow and prevent it from occurring. And what John Kramer found when he did his crowdsourced experiment in the 2000s was exactly, for some reason, it just didn't work. We just couldn't send the information to the past. Now, maybe he was lying, maybe not sure. But it was interesting because when you read the paper, right after it talks about we should be able to do this and we're not sure, the only way to be sure is we would have to test it. Then the next thing says there's one way around this issue of this paradox. Just build your system so there is no paradox. Huh. That's genius. So if the retrocausality is an issue, well, you're telling us we can control the length of the experiment. So why this doesn't have to be retrocausal? Just shorten the length of the path so it's not retrocausal anymore. And that's exactly what they did. They said we can control the path, so just make it, we can put our own limit on it. So as long as you make the path equal to whatever the wave, whatever the thing is, the phase, then what happens is you now have instant transmission, but you're never transmitting into the past. So this is really cool, because what this means is that they created then a closed loop teleportation system. And what I mean by that is the teleportation system is a controlled system that they control every aspect of it, the ending point and the starting point. And they intentionally designed it in a way where it can never go to the past and create a time loop. Or they just know that nature won't allow it, so you just engineer around it. So they've created an instant transmission capability, which is teleportation, 100%. It's just not teleportation back in time. And then the last thing I want to say is, what could you do with this? To just give you how this would work. This means there would be zero lag for my internet type people. The simplest explanation would be you could control the Mars rover from Earth while watching a video of it moving around in real time, despite the fact that there's an 8 to 20 minute delay in the light speed of the signal to Mars. So actually you would be transmitting, remote controlling the rover on Mars, watching it move around without the delay at all.
Cool, huh? This is wild stuff, man. Listen, I know that this has been a day for you, and it's still, you're right in the middle of it. Before you bail on us, can I just ask you what is two quick questions? Number one, what's the next thing you're trying to uncover as you go down this road here 3 years into it? And then the second question is, I consider you a friend, man, and I want to know, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, no, I'm doing great. This is the best time of my life, man. Awesome. And I know those videos are real, like beyond any shadow of a doubt now. And so now it's like, what an amazing position. Like, that's why I was posting today. Like, I'm actually a national security risk. That's awesome. You know, like I'm a normal guy, healthcare guy, and now I'm a national security concern. And I probably have been this whole time and never even really realized it. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to be in this position where the government can't say or do anything. Sierra Nevada Corporation, I can basically just attack them and say whatever I want about them. And there's nothing they can do, because if they were ever to sue me, I'm just going to get discovery and I'm going to be aiming directly for those videos. So, or other videos. I'm sure they've got other sketchy illegal shit that they're doing too. So
yeah, but they won't sue you. They'll just disappear you, which is why you got to be careful.
Yeah, but even that, like, look at the situation. Like, imagine, the thing is, they've got me in a box of silence, right? You're not allowed to go on Joe Rogan or Sean Ryan or these other people that would give you authenticity. You're not allowed to be talked about on any mainstream media unless it's like News Nation making up some bullshit about me. So you're realizing, like, you know, they control the message for the most part. So for me, it's like, if something like that were to happen, that's the type of Streisand effect that would break through the wall of silence. Like, oh, this guy mysteriously died and he was saying that we have this teleportation capability, but mainstream media wouldn't talk about it. And now the evidence is so abundant that any journalist that's actually a real journalist, all they have to do is just pick up the evidence that's already been thrown out there and be like, oh, hey, all I have to do is talk to literally anyone in the Air Force that has seen Gorgon stare, and you can confirm the videos. Like, that's how easy it is to confirm the videos. This is why I stopped going after Edward Lin. I don't even need the guy that leaked the videos anymore. In fact, even if I got him, most people would probably just ignore it. They would still ignore it. That's how brainwashed we are. Even if I got the guy that I identified as leaking the videos, who I've never talked to before, even if I got him to admit it, most of the world is just going to say, he's just lying to get the clout, or so. They'll make up any story to rationalize it away. And so the saddest part is, once again, if anyone disbelieves, all you have to do is talk to any source in the Air Force that's seen Gorgon stare in the last 10 years, and they'll confirm that that's the Gorgon stare footage. End of debate. Both videos are real. All of it's real. Start coping with our new reality. So the question everybody should be asking right now, why is nobody doing that? That's a 5-minute phone call for most journalists to get an Air Force source that can confirm that. Nobody on the planet is doing it. Well, the answer to that is the same reason why I'm the only person on the planet apparently disclosing these videos, because everything's either fake, a lie, or people are just too brainwashed to see the truth. except for you guys.
Man, we appreciate you and all the work you're doing. Please stay safe. At JustX Ashton, and when's your next live stream on your feed?
Yeah, check me out on Friday. Things have just been growing and growing, and I'm going to be on Tim Pool in a few weeks with Dr. Yu from NASA. I was like, how can I be as controversial as possible? How about I bring a PhD from NASA with me? And I already know what his opinion is. He loves the idea of the ether. So we're going to probably challenge all the mainstream academic perceptions and talk more about this science. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, follow along.
I wish you the best. Stay safe. Keep plugging away and keep in touch. And we'll have you on again sometime, man. Have a good rest of your day, brother. And thank you for all you're doing, man.
Be well.
Oh, my goodness. That guy is incredible.
Is he real? Is he human?
What do you mean?
Is he? I mean, I've never touched him. I've never been in the same room with him.
I've never touched him either. Weirdo. Are you saying is he AI or something?
No, I'm saying does he exist?
Oh, a simulation. That's right. We talked about this earlier. Okay.
So the way his brain works,
I know. He is. He's
can't
20 steps ahead of me. I mean, maybe I'm a bad example. He's 20 steps ahead of.
I really used to think I was smart, and I realized that I could memorize things, and that's why I got good grades. I was good short-term memory.
Oh, right. That's what I did. I would like remember like little tricks, you know, like I didn't have knowledge. I just remembered like crazy phrase. Like it's already out of my head, all the stuff that I learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, but I want to, this would have been a fun thing to show Ashton, but I know he's in a hurry. He's got day from hell on his end, but New York Tech Week is happening right now. And I bet they have none of this stuff there. So I thought that was kind of funny.
They have the latest laser disc player though, probably. the Dirge thing is
I know you got to send me that link. I that's incredible.
All I did was Google Dirge,
really, and it came right up.
And poof, they're
Here's something I'm gonna send to Ashton. This is from a fellow radio / TV producer that I know, and he has been following this Ashton Forbes journey as well. And this is a screenshot of a text that I received from him after Ashton was on with Pat, my day job, a few weeks ago. I got this text. So
is that where you get paid? That's
that's job. A job. Yeah, it's a job. So the gray text is from this producer buddy of mine. I'm just the blue one in between there. So he sends this. I got to send this to Ashton. This goes back to MH370. Okay. Have a nephew that was Air Force signals intelligence. He says the Air Force did not help look for the missing Malaysian airplane. He read they were helping, but he would have been doing the electronic signal search work if they were, so they didn't. Wow, very interesting. He shared that with me when I asked if there was anything interesting but not classified he could tell me about MH370. He said since they didn't do any work, there was nothing to be classified.
And
it's like they knew there's nothing to search for.
It's go look at the Titan mini sub thing. Remember when that happened, when the sub imploded, and then we later learned. Remember they all of the countdown timers they've got 15 hours of air, whatever it was. They got 15 hours. We had the countdown clock in the corner there of counting down. Oh shit, they're going to be dead in 14 hours and 59 minutes and blah blah blah. And it turns out the Navy had the listening devices and has listening devices,
right? Yep.
And knew when the damn thing imploded. They knew the minute it imploded and said, well, they probably said something, or either that or they didn't. And we were all, playing the stupid game while, for the next 15 or 40, whatever the time was. And they knew all along that the thing had gone poof and they were all dead.
Say what you will about Jeremiah Wright, Barack Obama's pastor. And there's plenty to say about him. But one of the things that he did say that is absolutely true is, quote, governments lie, end quote.
And my friend Mac Husband said something to me not too long ago, which I'd never considered, but he's right. Capitalism is brutal. And it is. Capitalism is brutal.
One other thing here that I didn't get to play for Ashton, and again, I got to have him back on.
Before I forget, you should have the OG blah 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 on here too. A friend of mine, Robert Labella, he is in the intelligence industry, and he's another smart one. He's like wicked smart, and he talks, and I nod. I've known him for 40 years.
Cool. Please give me the information. Yeah. Mario Nawfal. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but he posted this.
I've seen that name. I follow him.
Just a month ago. This video is going around there. It's out of Colombia. And can you see this? I think it's
a little ball.
Yeah. You seeing that? What's that all about?
A little orb.
And then they looked at it like
is it a balloon?
Captured it or something.
It looks like a balloon.
No, because there's nothing. Hang on a second. So there's that. Hang on, let me go back here. Not that guy.
Hey, who's that?
Okay.
El jueves 1 de mayo.
Oh yeah, so I don't speak Spanish, but there's apparently the thing, right, that we were just seeing. Look at that.
How'd they catch it?
I don't know. In a net, in a big net.
They caught it, and wait.
I don't know. I can't speak. I'm just
Is that
looking at
even
the
a real
here.
video?
Sphere is not hollow. I don't know anymore, man. I've been over this with you.
What's the sphere? What's the name of the sphere that was in the 70s?
Las Vegas.
No, the sphere thing that they. What the hell? Not the Dyson sphere. What the hell's that sphere called? The Bell? Is it the Bell's sphere? Is it BELZ sphere? I think that's what it's called. The Betz mystery sphere. BETZ.
Okay, hang on.
The Betz mystery sphere.
Let me. Do you have a picture up down there? Let me see here. No.
Hang on a second.
That's cool.
I'll get you a picture right now. You want a picture? I'll get you a picture of the Betz mystery sphere, and you tell me if it doesn't look like similar.
Okay. So I think the lesson here is that everything's been around.
None of it's hidden.
Everything has been around for a long time. They just hide this stuff from us.
They don't hide it. They don't hide it. I found that we just don't know what to look for.
Yeah. Okay.
That's been out there. The papers, the DIRDS papers. All I did, it took me how many seconds to find that, and we're sitting here looking at the titles of those papers, going, "Whoa, that sounds what?" But then you try to read it, and you go, "I have no fucking idea what any of this says."
So is the question not, are we ever going to have time travel?
We have it.
But when? When are we going to experience it? You and I, or people, like just people. Is it going to be my kids, my grandkids?
No, it's way too powerful. Where? And the Betz, the mystery sphere was discovered on my birthday in 1974. That's weird. I was exactly 10. No, we'll never have access to it because it's far too powerful, and the hierarchy of power in society will make sure that we don't. There have always been the layers of society. I mean, you go all the way back, and there's always been, and we've all brushed elbows with that upper. You have, I have. You've stuck your toe in the water. You've seen it. You've maybe talked to it, but it's a different sphere of society, and they will keep shit secret for forever.
I worry about Ashton.
Ashton's going to be all right. He's a big boy, but
well,
but it's not. But I don't know that he's naive to think they'll sue him, because they won't sue him. He'll disappear one day, or he'll be hacked up into little pieces and fed to the sharks if he's in a position where he's threatening, because that's what they do to you. That's what happens. Look at JFK. Look at RFK. Look at all. They just kill you. They don't sue you. They kill you.
On that happy thought, we should wrap this up, I guess. You're absolutely right.
Folks won't accept it anyway. That's just it. You start talking about teleportation, and people are going to look at you like you have three heads. They go, whatever. What are you smoking? Because it is so far outside of the sphere of anything we understand. And yeah, it's the UFO thing. We know it's there, but okay, great. What? By the way, we have to go to Kroger because we're out of milk. I mean, that's it. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, boys and girls, it's been a very, very. Can you believe that we've been doing this for 2 hours? It feels like it's been a 12-hour show, because when we started, it was Elon Musk versus Donald Trump.
Are they still pissing at each other?
I don't know. I'm sure they are.
I don't even want to know right now.
I bet. I mean, let me just. I kind of do though.
Okay.
Let me just see. Oh no. Okay, so Elon retweeted a tweet from another friend of mine, Natalie Danielson, and it's a 1992 Trump partied with Jeffrey Epstein. Just going to leave this here, and it's a retweet from Elon. The Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year.
This is so manufactured. This
Okay.
this is being done for a reason, but I don't know what the reason is.
Okay, hang on. Let me real quick before we part ways. Let me just refresh the old Truth Social here.
They're all drinking.
Donald Trump. Let me just check his Truth Social. Okay. Oh, here we go. Hang on.
What happens when the AI robots get a hold of this technology, right?
Hang on. 53 minutes ago,
Elon called for Trump to be impeached.
The president.
Okay. This is a
here we go.
Reindeer games.
Here we go. This is 53 minutes ago from the president. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. Wait, what? This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. Blah blah blah. If it doesn't pass, okay, it doesn't. He doesn't say like Elon sucks.
This is manufactured. But we'll know. I mean, or will we? Fuck, I don't know what we will know. Who knows?
There you go. Okay, so a week from today, we're going to do the live stream again, and we'll talk about one of the.
If we haven't been kidnapped by aliens.
Kidnapped by aliens, who knows? At this point, I'd kind of welcome it, honestly. But
we'll talk plane right there.
You'll be on that plane, and I'll if I'm still here a week. Okay, so that's a fair point. If I'm still around a week from now, we'll be talking about one of the unknown massacres in U.S. history, probably the biggest labor movement catalyst from 100 years ago. And then tomorrow, though, are you going to hang out with me tomorrow, or are you sufficiently drained after that conversation? You're going to be hanging out with me?
I never want to see you again.
Oh no! What
Until
did
tomorrow.
I do? Okay, so you, me, and Brad, and I'm going to call him 5 because it's 5 times August. His name's Brad, like yours, and I don't want to be like saying Brad, so it's going to be Brad and 5. I think during the course of that show tomorrow. 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on X. Don't forget to check out Brad with his awesome stuff over at thedailymojo.com. You've got our
awesome stuff too.
Okay. Don't put a trench coat on though before you say that. And of course, Gabby running the IG. Go check that out. And at themikeshow.com, where all of the audio, video, all that stuff. Oh, you know what? Since you're on X right now, it's all pinned to the top. It's right up there. Everything's pinned up there. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Before we go, I got to do one last thing.
You're right.
One last thing. Hang on. I went through. I cannot believe I did this. Where did I put it? I counted all of the silly live streams that I've been doing over the last couple of years. Do you have a guess?
You should make it a cliffhanger and tell everybody tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'll find whatever I scribbled down my chicken scratch notes because I can't find it tomorrow. All right, see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Love you. Bye. See ya. Thanks for joining, everybody.